All right, well, the president outlining his plan today to slash $4 trillion in debt over 12 years. But what about some of these other plans you hear so much about, including perhaps the most intriguing of all, the one being concocted by the so-called Gang of Six, evenly divided among Democrats and Republicans, crafting their own idea to cut the nation's massive debt. Did the president in his speech today steal their thunder or actually add to their thunder? One of the most widely respected senators on the Hill joining me now, Oklahoma Republican Senator Tom Coburn, a member of that so-called Gang of Six. Senator, what did you think of what the president had to say?
Well, you know, I think first of all, he's finally come to the table. I didn't like what he had to serve, but at least he's come to the table. I don't think he made the case for why we have to make major changes. One is we're going to have a debt crisis, and he needs to explain to the American people what that means and what the consequences of that are. He's never used a scalpel. I have, and I don't think we need a scalpel. I think we need a chainsaw to the federal budget if we're going to actually solve the problems. And then he outlined what we couldn't touch, which is 3/4 of the federal budget, which is ridiculous.
Now, he did say he mentioned down the road Social Security. That's as close as he came. But to be fair, Paul Ryan, the House budget chief, who came out with his own plan, left Social Security off the table for now.
And they're both wrong, Neil, because if the international financial community's confidence in our bonds have got to be that we're going to address our biggest entitlement program. And the fact is we've stolen $2.6 trillion from it. That money's gone. We're going to have to borrow that money to fulfill those obligations. And for people younger than me, you know, from 50 to younger, then we need to make some changes if, in fact, we want to have a Social Security program.
But we don't. I just had a congresswoman on, a wonderful woman, but the fact of the matter is she was talking about strategic investments and all of this other stuff, and you know, life would be grand if we could afford to do that, but as you pointed out, Senator, we're broke and we don't have the money to do that. So what do we do?
That's right. And so you cannot fix our problems unless you markedly change Medicare. And his plan for changing Medicare is increase the authority and the ability for price controls from the individual payment advisory board, which is nothing but saying we're going to ration care. And the other thing is you have a 12-year budget. Nobody puts out a 12-year budget unless you're hiding all the cuts and all the pain.
What does the 12-year mean versus a 10-year? What's the significance?
It means the vast majority of it's going to come in the last 2 years. That's the first thing. And number two is he gets only $4 billion in 10 years. We're going to get $4 billion in 9.
$4 trillion.
And that's $4 trillion. That's right. It's hard to remember those numbers.
No, I understand. But bottom line, with all of these proposals, I don't know what yours will finally be. What we're talking about is something that will slow the growth of this government, not reverse it, right?
No, everybody that's working on this knows we have an obligation to people who've put money into Social Security. We have an obligation to people who've put money into Medicare. But quite frankly, the health care bill that was passed last year has made the problem of solving our health care dilemma much more difficult because it's going to drive up the cost by now it looks like about $3 trillion over the first 10 years that is fully implemented.
Amazing. Senator, thank you. Breaking news and all that. We appreciate it. We'll have more right after this.
So can you